In this video, you'll see sections of text that resemble this. The word is the name of a document in the Bible. The first number is the chapter from which the quote or concept is taken. The second number is the specific chapter section, called a verse, from which the quote or concept is taken. Occasionally, a biblical document is further specified by a third number to the left. The number further to the left indicates that this is the second biblical document with this name. If you Google these biblical reference points, your search results will take you directly to the sections referenced. Enjoy the video. Merriam-Webster's dictionary defines religion as a personal set or institutionalized system of religious attitudes, beliefs, and practices, the service and worship of God or the supernatural, a commitment or devotion to religious faith or observance, and or a cause, principle, or system of beliefs held to with ardor and faith. Christianity meets all four of these definitions. So, Christianity is, by definition, a religion. But what is the most basic way to say what Christianity is besides just a religion? Christianity is, in essence, belief in the 66 documents contained in the Bible as authoritative and sourced from God, Yahweh, the cosmic creator of the universe. But what does that mean? What belief? What's the content? What are the essentials? At the most basic level, Christianity 101 is, if you give Yahweh your full allegiance, you will be saved. This is normally phrased as, everyone who calls upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. But like with many other Christian concepts, I just like to cut through the jargon and state the meaning more clearly. You must turn away from your evil deeds and toward Yahweh as your loving king, giving him your full allegiance. If you do this, he will save you from the destruction to come and include you in the restored Eden. But to expand on this to a second layer of essentials, well, there's only one God. He created everything that exists, including us. We are most similar to him out of all the things he created in the physical universe. This similarity suits us to the duty Yahweh has given us to shepherd this planet and tend it to the best of our ability. This similarity also endows human beings with cosmic dignity and value, almost beyond comprehension. That's why the Bible assigns the death penalty to murderers, because human life is too valuable, too precious, too sacred to be violated through an atrocity like murder. Our similarity with Yahweh places a premium on the sanctity of all life, regardless of age, race, sex, or any other distinction. Although we have a duty to promote well-being, human beings have a tendency to engage in destructive, disordered behaviors instead. Because of this, there is a steep penalty: eternal destruction. Despite our atrocities, Yahweh, the God of the Bible, loves all of us dearly and deeply prefers our well-being over our destruction. So, he has provided an avenue to reconciliation with himself, which he has made available to all humanity. This avenue is based on our allegiance and posture, not on our performance. He does not expect us to earn his favor. Rather, if we will simply turn our faces away from our destructive, disordered behaviors and toward him, toward well-being and order, he will spare us and continue a loving relationship with us for all eternity. At the end of human history as we know it, Yahweh will raise the dead back to life and restore paradise like Eden. Human beings will live in harmony with each other, with nature, and with Yahweh, and all evil will be destroyed. Honestly, you could stop there with the essentials of biblical monotheism, but the details we've gained along the way are too precious and amazing to leave out. Yahweh's avenue of reconciliation has always been available to mankind, but as time has gone on, Yahweh has explained more of the process. Although he is happy to forgive us, it would be unjust to leave the penalty undone. Someone must still be punished for these crimes. So, to show his great love for us, Yahweh himself became a human being in order to absorb the penalty himself. We call this human being Jesus of Nazareth, or Jesus Christ, but he was known to his contemporaries as Yeshua of Nazareth. He lived a perfectly moral life to show us that human beings can do this. They can live rightly. His accomplishments give us hope of our own capability, but they also condemn us because his life proves that we can live rightly and choose to live wrongly anyway. Then he willingly submitted himself to execution via torture and crucifixion. His death is the penalty for all our evil deeds. He was the cure. He died, and 3 days later, he was raised from the dead, which is even more significant than his death, because his resurrection is the prototype of our resurrection. One day, Yeshua will return to right all the wrongs of this broken universe, and he will raise all the dead back to life. The allegiant will be resurrected to life and reconciliation, and the rest, those who willfully rejected Yahweh's offer, will be resurrected to go on trial and then be destroyed. But Yahweh prefers our reconciliation. He cries out to us, begging us to change course and be spared, like we saw in Ezekiel chapter 18. Even those who reject him. To these people he cries out, "All day long I have reached out both hands to a stubborn and unresponsive group of people." Yeshua's death pays the price for our wrongdoing, but it's meaningless to us unless we turn away from our evil ways and toward Yahweh, toward well-being. On the one hand, it's like a gift that's been offered, but not accepted. It's sitting there on the table, waiting for you to pick it up. If you don't grab it, you won't have it. On the other hand, if a terrorist of any stripe has his bad behavior paid for by Yeshua's blood, it still would not be right for Yahweh to allow him into the resurrection paradise with the rest if he has not turned his back on his evil ways. Why should Yahweh allow such a destructive person to carry evil, harm, and chaos into his perfect, restored world and harm his precious children? No, if a person rejects Yahweh's offer, allowing that person into the resurrection paradise anyway would be cruel and evil. That person must be excluded for the good of everyone. But there is nowhere else to go, aside from the consuming sea of flame. In the end, those who accept Yahweh's reconciliation will participate in the new Eden, the new earth, Yahweh's restored paradise for humanity. Pollution will only be a memory. Oppression, forgotten. Disease, suffering, death, all gone, done away with forever. So, what remains? Joy, community, love, honest, fulfilling work in tending the planet that he's given us. We get our reunion with him. And in the end, being with him is the best of all. Everything would be worth it just to walk by his side. That is a reward worth suffering and dying for. And that is Christianity 101. Well, there you have it. That's the Mudwalkers version of Christianity 101. The original video I took for this actually ended up getting corrupted, so hopefully the AC units blaring in the background isn't too loud. But yeah, that's essentially it. The purpose of this video isn't to try and bash anyone over the head with the Bible. The point of this video is that when I tell you I'm a Christian, this is what I mean. I don't mean what other people mean by being a Christian. I mean this. So if you're ever wondering, hey, or if someone you know is wondering, hey, what does Chris and Mudwalkers mean when he says that he's a Christian? Well, you have this video. This is what I mean by it. So with that, I'm pretty much rambling, so it's time for the Patreon shout-out. This episode of Mudwalkers is brought to you by Nature Him, Todd, Jacob, Jay Sweets, Edward, Loud Sound, John S., Joseph, Charlie, Lionheart, Adam, Edward T., Nate, Cyan, John W., Clifton, Trev, Scott, None Here, Alan, Marty, Hank, Austin, Martin, Gabriel, Incidental Star, Dorian, Naked AJ, Sup, and Benjamin. Guys, thank you so much for your support on Patreon. You guys are making the channel possible. You're keeping my work sustainable. I can't thank you enough for what you're doing on Patreon. It really is making all this possible. If you're interested in the Patreon, even if you're just curious, there's a link in the description. Go ahead and check it out. If you're wondering about supporting my work financially, that would be great. And just in general, yeah, I hope you're having a great day. Hope you have a great week. Get outside. Live a good life.